already. Welcome to Community Chronicles. After 2 years, almost 2 years of building this up, we finally made it here. Guys, welcome all. Welcome. This is the very first session, the very first playthrough. So, it's going to take a little time to get in our stride. We are currently in the region of Crocum. A region created by the chat. The first region in the world of Taraz that was created by the chat. It has mountains and mesas and riverlands and swamps and crazy creatures, cultures, species, and mysteries that were all put together by all of you. And this world continues to grow. But as we have finished this region, a campaign will happen here. Steph Winterlight. Steph was captured by Vendalian traders who dared venture north into the wildlands of Crocum to trade with the Heresians, which are a sort of rabbit folk in this world. This led to an ambush on the road by the Atoxal elves. The skirmish failed, and Steph was captured on retreat. Although chained and led for leagues, Steph gave them a hard time with their stubborn, fighting nature. Eventually, a lone monk heading northward offered to buy them. A deal was made, and Steph was led further north than they'd ever been, to the monastery belonging to the Order of the Frozen Fist. Upon arriving, the master unchained them, saying they may choose to train with them and become one of the ice and snow, to never answer to human bondage again, or to be left to their own uncertain destiny. Steph chose the former. Once she found her way in training, she set out over to Hawksfell and joined the high seas for a minute, hunting with the Esgradiers, but found it was not for her, and their fervence was a little too much to commit to. And so she set back and made her way from job to job, which finds her here as a guide for this Vendalian cartographer. Sir Nigel Thornberry IV, or Reginald as well. They saved a Narathi noble and their family during a random encounter on the road. Little did Reginald know that the person he subdued trying to get past him was an assassin hired by the Escalian Majography. Indebted to him, the noble granted him a knighthood and a place in his house. Being quite unusual to niceties from a Narathi noble, Reginald saw this as a rare opportunity to potentially link the long-divided peoples of the north. On the other hand, the peers of the noble selfishly allowed him a Narathi name and knighthood in hopes that this would avoid violence from Reginald's kin. He finds himself moving from Narath and southward to where he finds himself now as a sort of advocate and example that unity, even with people of extreme differences, could be possible if someone such as him can rise. It seems like an age since I've returned to the cracking glaciers and frosted grasses of Crocum, beholding the boreal beauty of its forests capped in heavy snow as curious creatures scurry among the hard ground and hide in deep banks, whilst packs of predators and swarms of insects keep the dominion of the civilized at bay. My friend is here, lost to me only a decade before. A blink in time for me, yet for a human it is an eternity. I know not if he lives, only that he has vanished from my arcane vision. Was he taken to the northern shores by the maddened Esgridiers? Or did he cross through the northern pass and meet a gruesome fate by the territorial Atoxel? Alive or no, I must discover the meaning of his last words. They wish to wake them. This is not home, but the cold memories bite at my face and the steps I take sink with the same crunch. Time has no consequence to me, but this land reminds me we are all mortal, and to linger here longer than need be, will be, the end of me. Umlobo Gopaki, Expedient of the Vandalian Cartographers. The Escalian Magocracy, an all-mage run society, and its capital city boasts of one of the original mage schools ever built in this world. The doors of the Van Dorn Academy open. As two Vandalian lancers and a couple of sellswords, that's you, escort a warmly birded horse, ridden by Umlobo Gopaki, expedient of the Vandalian cartographers. He has charged Steph Winterlight and Sir Reginald Tonberry to accompany him into Crocom's northmost regions, since Vandalian imperialism does not inspire confidence in his survival of these spiteful tribes and kingdoms. Being locals to certain regions, you will be privy to information that he is not, and can prove vital to your survival and his mission. To find his friend and fellow cartographer, who has been missing in northern Crocom for 10 years, who is known as Cloven Nulli Kestus. Thought to have perished at the hands of the Atoxel elves, Umlobo received a message in arcane correspondence, a tired voice with hurting breath, and the words, "They wish to wake them." With only the latest map of Crocom at his disposal, and his confidence in you, Umlobo hopes to find his friend, and if not, seek out the answer to his questions. Who are they, and what will they awaken? He was insistent on stopping at the Van Dorn Academy before taking the Hell Road northward into the wilds, attempting to retrace the route his friend took long ago. I am Walter Van Dorn the 12th. We received the message that preceded you, and the message before that. Will you take some refreshment before you enter the Kuzitia? This is extended to your companions as well, of course. Let's do the first roll. I don't trust anything roll. Who's doing this? Tell me who's going to be doing this roll. So a 17 plus 3, a 20. The first roll of this campaign, without even augmenting the roll with any of the Godsong stuff, is a 20. They're definitely the person that is the face of the Van Dorn Academy. I mean, the last name is Van Dorn, the 12th. So they are definitely the face of the academy, but also very much, part of being welcoming and diplomatic with those who cross through their gates. So you are here because the cartographer needs to do some research in the Kuzitia, which is an underground cave system library in the Van Dorn Academy. It's built right into the mountains, deep in the mountains. And so it is a very sacred and old archive of magic, of texts about, the magical history that is about 250 years old in Taraz. And so he is going in there doing like the Gandalf at Minas Tirith, right? Like looking for information about the ring. He's kind of doing research about this message that was sent to him recently by a friend who's been missing for 10 years. There are a couple of issues we have come across in recent days past that could use a stronger hand in solving these problems or helping us uncover these mysteries. Heresian tells you of a flickering image of a tenured mage known as Hurin Bolo, and she seems to be haunting the innermost chambers of the academy. This famed mage of teleportation magic from Van Dorn went missing nearly 10 years ago with all of her research when she went to a place she called the Caves of Transposition, which are a little north along the southern Zelad Mountains. Because Hurin was a powerful mage, they do not recommend you go into the depths of the caves, fearing you may be lost. However, the mages believe that if some soil and the bioluminescent mushrooms and stone can be recovered from the cave's entranceway, that they can complete a ritual that may strengthen the signal of this haunting message. Who are you? Oh, me? You haven't met me before? You haven't been around here too often then. And he goes away from searching his stuff, and he looks back at you, and his hair kind of like swings as he turns his head again. He goes, I'm Yildir Longwheel. I'm a merchant. And then he jingles this little satchel around his neck, in front of him. He's like, and I'm a bit of a seer, too. Could tell you what's going to happen. A slight flap of a wing and a screech. And this, out of the blistering snow and winds, around the size of a medium creature, running into one of the creatures the chat created, guys. The first time you run into a monster you guys created, a creature you guys created, you know this to be a comm-pack. The Vandalian soldier puts up the shield, and the tentacles like slap and stick onto the shield and try to pull it with it. And it's a surprise with the wind. This comm-pack is actually using the blistering winds to its advantage and angling its wings to catch the drift, to use it to pull back, to pull back against the shield and try to pull it away. And you just hear this as it like unsticks and tries to, get unstuck from the shield. One is going to open its beak. It's very pointed but short beak, and give out a strange quivering tone. That screech is unbearable. When you open your eyes and you finally try to strain and combat it, and looking up from it, you notice that now when you see the screeching of the birds and you see the shouting of battle, you see it in colors. You see the shouting as this yellow and white. You see the screeching as this kind of purple and teal wave rippling outward. Every single person that is saying something says it with it in a different color, almost like they have their own different auras and whatnot. You have synesthesia. Right in the center, it's screeching, and then boom, and it boom. again, feathers left behind as you kick it, and it kind of like flaps its way out of the mist of like the cliff behind it, and it staggers because the wind is trying to take it. But you can drop the shield right now on the ground and go two-handed. Okay. So you had a 14, and now you have a 16, which makes it just over the AC of the compact. It's a hit. Roll damage with a D10. You drop your shield. And in the same action, you let the belt slip off of your arm, and you grab your warhammer with two hands and go for a swing. You're still on the back part of the swing, so you still have that energy to follow through. And then you hear it. You hear the clinking of glasses, of tankards slapping together and ale splashing on the ground. You hear songs of battle, but also songs of revelry. And for a split second in your brain, you don't know how you see it, but you see a man with very well coiffed hair and very colorful clothes. And he salutes to you. And he goes, "A song for your success." And in that moment, you feel all the muscles in your shoulders and pecs just tense that much more, and you swing forward even more. The compact tried to get out of the distance of this thing, but your slight push forward with that extra muscle and force swings the hammer that much closer. How do you destroy this thing? Dropping the shield, he catches them on the upswing and sends it up into the air a few feet for swinging downwards and driving it into the ground for his final flight ever. It's messy. It's a crater in the snow. And your synesthesia hasn't shaken off yet, so you kind of shake your head as you see what the sound of crunching looks like in color. But as soon as that happens, you snap out of it. You know, Reginald was able to be helpful, and Steph was able to figure out and cobble together a way for the two tents to be merged into one, and also find a spot just around the corner from the worst parts of the wind to really make it work. This is going to suffice for like a single long rest, but I don't think it'll be worth it to hold out much longer in this place. If you're gonna take your rest, take it right now. Take it for the night and get up real early, maybe even in the middle of the night, and continue on. Because it's early evening, it's winter time, so it gets pitch black by the time you're done this tent. You also have two compact eggs, two very big compact eggs. I was expecting you guys to eat one of them or something, but you didn't. So you still have them. And yeah, you guys huddled in, keep warm, and you wait out the darkness of the night so that you can descend the mountain pass in the morning and reach your quarry.